Hi, it's Mike DelSignore, and in this video, I want to talk about what's the court process if you're charged with OUI drugs in Massachusetts. So an OUI drugs case is difficult for the government to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And the reason is we don't have the scientific testing to determine if someone's under the influence of drugs. There was a leading case, myself and Julie Goodrow from my office, we were a big part of it, where it was a case that it wasn't directly our case, but we got involved in it because it was so important to the success of our other clients. So it was a case, Commonwealth versus Gearhart. It was out of the Worcester District Court, where we practiced quite a bit. But the case ended up going to the Massachusetts Supreme Court. And in the case, we submitted a brief arguing that field sobriety tests aren't scientifically reliable to determine whether someone's under the influence of marijuana. And we argued that officers shouldn't be able to render an opinion whether someone's under the influence of marijuana. Ultimately, the Supreme Court came out with a ruling that was very favorable to all defendants. The court said, while field sobriety tests can come into evidence, they're not scientific tests that someone cannot be convicted of an OUI marijuana based solely on field sobriety tests, and that juries should be given an instruction that they should view field sobriety test evidence sort of with caution. So it was a very good jury instruction as well. The case was a major victory for anyone charged with an OUI drugs case. So that's one reason why these cases are hard to prosecute in court, because the law is very good. Often there's not any independent test like a medical blood test showing any levels of any kind of drug in your system. So you generally should fight an OUI case, whether it's marijuana, prescription drugs, heroin. These cases are difficult to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. But this process can be a little different. So in a lot of OUI drug cases, there's going to be a crash, and you might not even be arrested. You might be brought to the hospital. So then you're going to be entitled to what's called the Clerk Magistrate hearing. So let me explain to you what a Clerk Magistrate hearing is, and two things you should know about a Clerk Magistrate hearing that are very important in an OUI drugs case. First, when you get that citation, you want to mail it in as soon as possible, so you get a clerk hearing. A clerk hearing is an opportunity to prevent the criminal complaint from being issued. We can argue that there's no probable cause. We can try to work out sort of a practical agreement. While that's difficult with alcohol, there's a little more flexibility when it's an OUI drugs case. The second thing you want to keep in mind is if you don't get any citation. Some people say, well, I haven't received anything from the police department. The longer it takes them to give you that citation, the better. That's a defense. They're supposed to give you the citation right away. It's called the no-fix statute. So if months or even weeks go by without getting a citation, that could be something that I can use to potentially get the case dismissed. So don't contact the police. Don't ask them to do anything. Don't say, well, where's my citation? If you don't get it, great. The longer it takes, the better for your case. So keep those things in mind. Often in an OUI drugs case, you will get what's called an immediate threat suspension from the registry. Because there's no suspension for refusing a blood test at a hospital, and there's no breathalyzer for marijuana, there's no suspension there. So they'll submit often sort of a catch-all. They'll send to the registry that you propose an immediate threat and ask your license to be suspended. To get your license back, you're gonna have to go to the Board of Appeals. You're gonna need evidence of negative drug screens for 3 months. They're not gonna want to see you smoking if you're smoking pot. They're gonna want that to be negative as well. So they're gonna want you to be clean before they give you your license back. Now, you can get your license back prior to the case being resolved. Sometimes these cases can take longer depending on the court, so you don't have to wait until the court date is over, but you do need 3 months of negative drug screens. So if you have a question about an OUI marijuana case, feel free to contact me. If it's anything involving OUI drugs, very familiar about the science, the law on this. Other lawyers call me all the time to ask questions. I've gone to the all the national DUI college events on this. I received an award for our work on this Gearhart case, because it was instrumental. And I've spoke to other attorneys in Vermont, spoke to the lawyers in the Plymouth Bar Advocates. So it's something that I have spent a lot of time learning, so I can help you. I know when you're charged with a criminal case here, you got your back against the wall, you're looking for a second chance, and I'm here to give you that second chance, and also to provide you guidance. If you need treatment, help, I'm gonna get it for you, because I wanna make sure that when you're found not guilty, if we get the case dismissed, whatever the outcome is, that you're ready to move forward in your life, and that you're going to have a positive experience in this, that you're going to take it and you're going to build on this, and you're going to have a great career ahead of you. Because that's ultimately what I want to see is people, is when we achieve success for somebody in court, we give them a second chance. Nothing makes me happier than when I get a letter from a former client saying thank you for sending me these books, or thanks for your guidance. That's really the reward in this job, and that's really why I work so hard to be the best trial lawyer I can, to give you that opportunity, and it's nothing more rewarding than see people cash in on it. So feel free to contact me. It's never too early, too late to call. My number is 781-686-5924. It's my cell number. You can always contact me. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm here to answer them.